Hello, my audience. This is my review on Robocop for the PlayStation 5 copy of Robocop Rogue City game. I played it on digital copy, and it was awesome. This game is brutal as the first two Robocop movies, and has much fun. And the gameplay's pretty solid and it works fine. I mean, it's not groundbreaking, but it makes you feel like it's the motherfucking Robocop. What more could you ask for in a Robocop game? This gives you pretty much everything you want from a Robocop game. Because it feels like, the story, it acts if Robocop 3 never happened, but just acts if Robocop 1 and 2 happened. You know, the one with the good ones that were rated R. Then had the mainly reprised his role in the second one that played him in the first one, but they got a different guy in the third one and was rated PG-13 and fucked over a bunch of Robocop fans from many generations in the third one. I mean, I like the third one, but I can't act like that movie didn't fuck me over sideways. I felt violated and raped. I was a Robocop fan, but this Rogue City makes you feel like you're watching a proper Robocop 3 rated R and all this glory violence. The story and the tone fits Robocop perfectly, but it tells a new story with a new compelling narrative and new setup, which and Lewis is in it again. Robocop's pawn from the first two movies that they killed off in the third one, which I hated. That decision, they wouldn't kill off. That's when we went downhill. Killed off his partner. Worst decision making that Robocop 3 did in the story was, I think, killing off his partner, Lewis. Forget that they turned the Robocop's the machine that Robocop went up against into a joke by making it act like a dog. Biggest thing Robocop was killing off Robocop's partner. I thought. And it was just cheap how they did it. And gruesome. At PG-13, we just felt like shock value. Kind of stupid. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, guys. I did not beat 100% of Robocop. I only played the opening level, and it's amazing. Like the movie, it feels like a third Robocop movie that just throws you right in. Yeah, okay, you know this guy. Here's what he's got to do: take down this bad guy, save the hostages, and go in with Lewis as backup. Even when he's disobeying orders, stuff, blah blah blah. Then he starts having flashbacks to his past, and that's like the setup of the opening level after the title sequence comes up. And it's pretty cool. Story stuff, building, and world building, and character development with Robocop and Murphy. Named Murphy. Those who didn't see the first two Robocop movies, that's where you might be a little confused on playing this game. If you didn't see the first two Robocop movies rated R, with the original guy who played Robocop, then you're going to be a little confused and lost in this game. So I only really say play this game if you're a Robocop fan of the first two movies, or if you've seen the first two movies. And if you haven't seen the first two movies, I wouldn't recommend it, because you're going to be lost in the story on who's who and everyone in the corporation and corruption surrounding Murphy, the department he works for that made him into Robocop was in the first Robocop movie. So You're going to be a little confused with the mythology because it doesn't explain past events. It just throws you in the new story, a third installment for Robocop. If Robocop 3 was rated R and not PG-13 and played it mostly for jokes and took its source material seriously, like the first two ones did, and made it rated R. Robocop 1 and 2 had that tone. Took seriously, but also was rated R. And this one does takes that Robocop tone. And it also like has some funny moments here and there, but it's not overkill like it was in the third installment, the actual movie called Robocop 3, rated PG-13. Uh, if there's more in line with the first two Robocop movies, the sense of humor and tongue-cheek jokes it goes for, the amount it tells. Like, it's not overkill, the point you lose the point of the tone of making Robocop relatable and likable as a three-dimensional character. So I feel like when the movie, like the third Robocop movie, I think the reason why I think we kind of cheapened Robocop because most of the stories was just played for laugh and had its lighthearted, carefree-ass tone. Rated PG-13. It fell way in line with Joss Whedon's take on Justice League from 2017, Robocop 3, was his tone and pacing. It was a mess. In the worst. Robocop movie was the worst of the bunch. And worse than the remake. Suck it, you know it's true. The remake was awesome for a PG-13 movie. It didn't talk down to the audience, and it felt like it earned its PG-13 rating. And it felt like it wanted to go more. And I found out the interesting part of remake of RoboCop. Originally, that movie was going to be rated R, but what happened was it became too expensive. They had to edit it down to PG-13 because the studio found the director was oversold himself with his budget, so they wanted PG-13 because they thought he could make more money. For the remake, if they made PG-13 the studios. Original was going to be rated R, but they invested too much money, so it got PG-13 down. But I think that was a mistake. Yeah. But this movie makes you feel like you could return to all the simple times of being a RoboCop fan before you discover RoboCop 3. And your mind never forgot about it. The scars that left you. But this movie makes you heal from RoboCop. This game makes you feel like you can forget about RoboCop 3 like it ever happened and make you just feel like everything's right in the world with being a RoboCop fan. And we got a proper RoboCop trilogy now. There's 2 movies and 1 video game called Rogue City. The proper RoboCop 3. Rated M for mature. That's also known as R for audiences for video games. That's why I give RoboCop Rogue City for PlayStation 5, rated M for mature audience, also known as rated R for video games. A 10 out of 10. As a RoboCop fan, I recommend this blockbuster video game flick. I enjoyed a lot. And I recommend you do play this if you have PlayStation 5. And if you want to play PlayStation 5, you can play on the Xbox One digital. I did it both. Xbox One and PlayStation 5. I own both, so played a little bit on both consoles. And I enjoyed it that much. So, while it was originally released on the PlayStation 5's console for PlayStation 5, it also can be now find streaming on Xbox One. Addition to PlayStation 5, okay? So if you have Xbox One or PlayStation 5 console, one of those consoles that one's titled, not the old Xbox, the Xbox One's titled Xbox One. The original Xbox is, I think, is titled Xbox. And Playing Survive is the newest PlayStation, okay? So, that's my view on Robocop, Rogue City, and why I give it a 10 out of 10. I recommend this if you are a Robocop fan and know how to play Robocop. I mean, no, if you play video games and like the first two Robocop movies, play this. I recommend it. But if you haven't seen the first Robocop movies, the first two ones, first check out the first two Robocop movies. Then you might want to, and then if you like the Robocop, first two Robocop movies, then I said recommend you go play this game. And that's only if you enjoy the first two Robocop movies on your taste. They're not everybody's cup of tea, I hear. Robocop movies, the Robocop first two Robocop movies, I hear, because they are, I, I hear sometimes that the action movies not everybody's cup of tea, you know. But I don't understand. Like a movie of Robocop was like Robocop's a fucking great movie, and so the sequel. And this video game's pretty good, okay? I mean, Robocop's a pretty good, cool character that's very compelling and relatable, I think. And how he's written as a, he's a very, he's a cyborg. It's pretty cool, this game. I give it a 10 out of 10 for gameplay and story building and everything, and voice acting too. Now, proper sequel to Robocop 2. The first two ones were awesome, and this one is a final conclusion to Robocop's story. A proper conclusion, it feels like, to Robocop first story of Robocop Rogue City, known as Robocop 3, the video game. I'm calling it. I recommend this game. Please subscribe to my channel. Like this video, my audience. This is my new video for my new channel. I hope you enjoy my channel called Jake New Metal. I hope you enjoy my new channel. My name is Jake Allengram for my newcomers on my new channel. Check out my other channel named Jake Allengram. Fuck, I forgot the rest of the half of the name. I remember the first half of my name on my first channel, but not the second half. Feel free to check out my older channel, my first channel on YouTube. Bye. Good morning. Love you. Check out my videos that are coming out eventually for my next review on my next video game I'll review, whatever. I haven't decided yet, obviously, but that's why I said whatever. So, stay tuned for my next video. Goodbye, my guys. Bye.